Hey, Shalom. First, let's give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kwakadash, Yahweh, who the world English calls God, Yahweh Shai, who the world English calls Jesus. I want to give it up honor to the apostles of great Jerusalem, talking this truth. I want to give a peace and blessings to the active across the four corners of the earth who teach this truth and rich life to do so. It's going to be a quick video. Lord, when the video's edifying, only I can get something from this video. Quick video through the spirit. Grab a couple of precepts as far as prophecy and us getting delivered out of this. Lord will not be one of those men out of this current queendom or captivity that we're in. This is hell for the so-called black man, Native American man, and Latino man and woman, but it's heaven for the other nations. That head nation, the head heathen nation, which is Esau, right? That because scripture say the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Right? Who's the wicked? Esau, right? Scriptures say that the other nations, they're confederate against us, and the scriptures call them our enemies, right? And it names the some of the heathen nations, right? You know, and Esau, if I'm not mistaken, was the first one named, right? So it goes to show you, like, you know, these devils had hatred for us from the jump. Even when that's why when you go to Numbers, it says was Amalek was the first of the nations. They was the first to war with us coming out of Egypt, right? Amalek is like the top heathen, man, top Edomite heathen, right? When you go to Amalek's father name was Eliphaz. When you blue letter the definition of what his name means, it means my God is gold. So this is what these people praise. This is what these people worship, right? These people worship money, okay? And they do anything for it, okay? Including sacrifices, including throwing men under the bus and all kind of shit. They do rituals, right? These motherfuckers they're not upright. You know what I'm saying? They're truly the basis of men, okay? And it's evident in the way that they live, in the way that they conduct themselves, how they act, how they walk, how they talk, how they look. You know what I mean? Everything is base, and everything everything lacks. It's not dominant. You know what I'm saying? Their genetic makeup isn't dominant. You know what I'm saying? They're just dominant at being wicked. That's it. Okay? It's Jeremiah 30:3. It says, "For lo, the day has come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah." So Judah being the southern kingdom, Israel being the northern kingdom. Okay? Another word for Israel that you'll see sometimes is Ephraim. Ephraim represents the northern kingdom. Judah represents the southern kingdom. Okay? It says, saith the Lord Yahweh, "And I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it." And what land is that? That land is Israel. Okay, and what does this prove? This proves that we're not in a land right now. Okay, scripture say a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. Right here, Zechariah 9:6. It says, "And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines." And a bastard is dwelling in Ashdod, right? Amalek is dwelling in the land right now. Okay, that land is being occupied by heathen. Jacob ain't really over there. Jake as a whole is not over there. Okay, let's go here. Let's go to Baruch 2:30. It says, "For I knew that they will not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves." Now Jacob scattered across the four corners of the earth, right? Four corners be north, east, south, west. Okay. And scripture say captivity. So wherever we're at, we're captive underneath whatever nation is running at. Okay, running that region or country or whatever. Okay. It says, "But they shall remember themselves." In the latter end, we are remembering ourselves. Okay, we're waking up to who we are as a people. Okay, and that's the prophecy is popping off. You know what I mean? But one of the prophecies that, hey, we'll remember who we are. Just like it says, they shall remember themselves. Okay, it says, "And shall know that I'm the Lord Yahweh, their power, for I will give them in heart and ears to hear." Right? And the Lord allowed us, and that's what I'm saying, like, us knowing this truth is a form of mercy. Us knowing the Lord's name is a form of mercy, because we have something to pray to. We have something to have faith and hope in. right? You couldn't have faith in Jehovah and Jesus. It wasn't real. It didn't click. You know what I mean? Here it is. You know, this motherfucker is you know, that people that look like Jesus, right? The image that they paint, right? Have did all manner of evil and wickedness, but yet they'll throw this picture up. And if you think God looks like them, then you think that you niggas is quick to forgive, Esau. Now, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Nah, this man's a devil. And we're bringing it out through the scriptures, okay? It says, and shall know that I am the Lord, their power, for I will give them a heart and ears to hear. It says, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name. Right, and in the land of our captivity, we are these little sanctuaries that are set up. We are praising the Lord, man. The Father name is Yahweh. The Son name is Yahweh Shai. Okay, it says 33, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord, and I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And again, what land is that? It's like I said in Jeremiah 30. What land is that? The land of Israel, which proves what? We're not in the land right now. We're in captivity right now, which means we're not in a second covenant. Okay, it says, and I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it. Scriptures talk about when you go to Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, the government being established, Israel being a top government that's established. Okay, and all the nations are going to flow into it. And we're going to police the universe with the law of the Lord. Period, man. And we're going to be right. Because what? The scriptures say that the law will be written in our inward parts. Okay? It says, in return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because the promise was through that lineage. Okay, Jacob name later being turned into Israel after he wrestled the angel. It says, and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power, and they shall be my people, and I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them. Right? Why? Because we're going to be perfect. Once we're perfect, and once we're made immortal, that's, basically when we're in the second covenant. Right, where we're truly God's. Okay, it's going to be a difference between Israel, a major night and day difference between Israel and other nations. There's going to be a difference between the elect and the rest of Israel. I mean, Israel. Your scriptures say, the weakest of my people shall be as David in that day. You know what I mean? So, how much more? Let me see. Shall be King David. Let me see. So shall be right here. You're feeble. Zechariah 12:8 it says, in that day shall the Lord Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as the Most High, as the angel of the Lord Yahweh before them. Right? So the feeble is going to be as David. And you see how mighty David was. So the Lord is returning with mercies for the elect in the 1/3, and eventually all Israel will be saved, right? Once we're in a land, when 2/3 of Israel have to come back through the loins of the elect, okay? Because 2/3 of Israel is not going to make it on this side. It's prophesied to be that way. That's why you could talk to a nigga till he blue in the, till he black in the face, and he'll look at you like, okay, he shows incredulity. But it's not going to trouble us, because at the end of the day, we know what the truth is. It's Baruch 4, and I'll go to 37. It says, Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of the Most High. And that's what you have, man. Like-minded men across the four corners of the earth, right, that all have the spirit of truth, of Yahweh Shai, that came together and is on one accord. That's why you could go to other states, and it's like you at home, even though you never met these brothers before, because the spirit is the same. And the scripture said this thing is not of men. If it was of men, it should come to naught. This is of the Lord, man. It's not of us. This is of the Lord. Okay? Hey, so with that, man, long video is edifying. Only Akim got something for this video. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakadash. With your brothers keep pushing on to the next. Shalom.